Again, I'm Carrie Donegan, and welcome to Radical Age Reversal. It's so wonderful to have you here. This is the program where we teach you how to hold the line, not to age, and to actually age in reverse. Today's topic is natural ways to feel good, and we're walking through the book by Dr. Daniel Amen, 30% Happier in 30 Days. And I'd like to draw your attention to chapter 4 today. And remember, this book is so easy for you to use because it's 30 chapters in 30 days, and they're all really short, but they're just chock full of really good tools that you can use and apply in your life today. You don't even have to necessarily do a lot of prep work to use these tools. And we've done 2 more episodes on this book. So if you haven't listened to those, don't worry. You can listen to each of these in separate chunks, but we do recommend that you go back and listen to those other videos because they have great information in them as well. And of course, I do recommend that you pick up this book. Again, it's 30% Happier in 30 Days. So today's topic is about natural things that make us feel good. And one of the things that I want to talk about is why. Why would you choose something natural over something that is modern and medically related and scientifically studied and produced and readily available, right? One of the things we know about medication is that it's everywhere, and doctors are more than willing to prescribe you all kinds of medications. In fact, 1 out of every 3 Americans is on some type of mood altering drug. And my question when I hear things like that is why? And are people really feeling better? Because if I was taking a drug and I was feeling better, then I probably wouldn't need to take it anymore. Or if I were taking a drug and it was just solving all of my feelings issues, then I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be seeking all this information. And we know that depression is on the rise. So where's the disconnect? What's not working? And what I would like to propose is there's actually a better and more natural way to deal with our feelings, the roller coaster of our life. We can wake up in the morning and not know how we're going to feel and not know how we're going to react to a certain situation. Many of us have these deep, deep, deep programmed moments that when something else arises can trigger some emotions that can be actually disrailing, can be halting, can be disruptive, can change the course of our life. And I know when you woke up this morning, you wanted to feel good, you wanted to be joyful, you wanted to have good interpersonal relationships, you wanted to laugh, you probably wanted to enjoy the day. And we fall into these situations where I think we can, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, start to derail that perfect day. So I'm going to give you some of the tools that I use, and they're absolutely no cost. And then I'm going to dig into Daniel Amen's book, and we're going to see how all of this is going to weave together and intersect. So the first bit of information that I'd love for you to be able to incorporate into your life is when you wake up in the morning, do not, if at all possible, touch your phone other than to turn off your alarm. If that's your alarm, and actually some people have gone so far as to say, make sure you get an alarm clock. I know Simon Sinek talks about this a lot. Do not use your phone as an alarm clock. Now, for me, that's a bit extreme. I'm not so pulled into my phone yet at this moment that if I turn off my alarm, that the first thing I have to do is just, go in, check those text messages, go in and look at that social media feed, look at my emails. But if that's you, then that's the best thing that you can do for yourself is get an alarm clock. So easy. And now with technology, actually, and this is where I think technology is really, really fun, you can program your phone to wake you up in any way. I have seen the most amazing things where people like wake up to the sounds of kind of soothing voices or music or sounds of nature. So, incorporate that into your morning. How are you waking up? Are you waking up to like this crazy jolting alarm that feels like a 5 alarm fire? Or are you waking up in a more natural, easy, beautiful way? That's going to set the tone of your day. Then I want you to actually, and this is honestly, no matter whether you have any kind of faith life or not, but I want you to wake up in a state of gratitude. You woke up this morning, and that is a really good thing. You are here on this planet for a reason, and that is a really good thing. You, as you are whole, perfect, and ready for the mission that you've been put on this planet to accomplish. So be grateful for that. Start your day with gratitude. And of course, if you have a deep faith life, this is your moment to pray. This is your moment to give thanks and to give glory to God. And if it isn't in your understanding of life, then you can still be grateful for having life and having it today. And every day is a new dawn, right? Every day is a start over. Every day is an opportunity for you to play a role in this wonderful world that we belong to. So give yourself a few minutes. And if this is a hard practice for you, then start slowly. Start with a few minutes and then build it up. And honestly, the people that I know that have the most fulfilling lives are the ones that can start their day with the greatest amount of quiet time. Quiet contemplative time is restoring to your emotions. And remember, today is all about how to regulate our emotions so that we can live joyful, happy lives. Remember, the goal of this book is for you to be 30% happier in 30 days. So we need to incorporate some practices. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things I do. Something as simple as doTERRA peppermint. Maybe you haven't gotten enough sleep the night before and you really want to wake up, but you're feeling groggy and you're just not feeling like you woke up refreshed. So take that peppermint, put it in your hands, and breathe it in. This is a glorious way to wake up in the morning. Okay, just glorious. And then you can kind of do a nice stretch, whatever that is. Maybe you have a stretching practice. Doing exercise in the morning is also really great if you can fit it in. But take that peppermint, put it on the back of your neck, and at least roll your head from side to side a little. Do some stretching. Your body has been maybe in one position all night. We don't know how good your bed is. And we need to move. Our bodies are machines. They need to constantly move or they're going to stiffen up like the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. And they're going to need some oil, right? So get out your oil and start using it as part of your daily routine. I really, really love that. Now, if you're someone that wakes up and your mind is racing all over the place, right? Your worries are creeping in. I want you to take some basil oil and the same kind of thing. Just take a couple of drops, rub it in your hands, breathe it in. Now, it is in the mint family, just like the peppermint, but it's different. Okay. And you're going to just rub it on and you're going to rub it on the back of your neck. Again, this is just so good for your body. I have really, really, really tight, sore wrists. I do a lot of lifting. So I like to take those two oils and put them on my wrists. What hurts on you? Get rid of the pain because pain can actually be a stumbling block to a really good day. So if it's your knees, it's your hips, it's your shoulders, it's the back of your neck, whatever it is, get those oils on the parts of your body that are giving you trouble. And of course, the easiest thing to do is to get a deep blue stick, doesn't touch your hands, and go ahead, keep that by your bed. Be armed and ready to go for your best possible day. All right. Now, let's talk about some other natural ways. The first thing he talks about is having a really good multivitamin because we don't get enough good produce in our day. Some of that has to do with availability. Some of that could do with the season that you're in. Some of it has to do with just preparation time, right? It's hard to get all those fruits and vegetables into your day. So I like the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality line. It's called VMZ. And I actually brought out the Z Omega because this one is super important to mood. So I wanted to highlight it. It is your fish oils. I know some people are vegetarian. Go with the vegetarian version. That's fine. But if you don't have an inclination to vegan or vegetarian, I do think that the fish oils just do a more deeper job. They're just capable of doing certain things. There's fish oil is capable of doing certain things that plants just don't get to that level. So The plants are great and we use them for lots of things, but if you can add in the Z Omega, you're going to see a big, big difference, I believe. And take all 4 capsules at once. I love that. Just like get it in your body early in the morning and let it go to work throughout the day. So if you can grocery shop, and we talked about this last week in this way, and again, I had to find the person to attribute this information to because this is not my invention, but I love it. So I'm going to share it and I will find out. And if you know who it is, go ahead and put it in the comments section. But it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6 vegetables when you go shopping, 5 fruits. And then from there, I think it's 3 proteins, 2 grains, maybe, or 4. Oh, I missed 4, right? So maybe 4 proteins. Either 3 grains, I think it's 2 sauces or dips or something like that, and then 1 freebie, whatever you want for that. But it's a good way to think about your food too. Like the bulk of your food should come from plants. All right. So there is a nod to all of my plant friends. So get lots of varieties of herbs, vegetables, spices. All of that is in the plant families. You need those polyphenols, you need all those good nutrients that come from plants, and then add on to it your lifelong vitality. And this is going to give you what you need. It says dozens of studies in the past few decades have reported that mental health benefits from a really strong and good multi-mineral, multivitamin complex. And that is called your VMZ. That's what you're looking for, doTERRA VMZ. In a 2020 review of the science on broad spectrum nutrition supplements for treating mental health issues, 16 to 23 of the studies showed positive effects for the symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress. So we know food is the answer, okay? Remember that. Your foods are the answers. Look at your foods when you're eating them. I love this. Dr. Daniel Amen talks about this all the time. Are you going to give me what I need? Look at your food. All right, like really, really look at it. Look at your choice and say, what is this going to bring me once I've eaten it? I think that's really cool. The other thing he talks a lot about is vitamin D. Now, vitamin D has to be delivered in a way where it's going to be absorbed. It's tricky. It's a hormone. It's not a vitamin. Why do we confuse people like this? Why do we tell them, why would you call a hormone a vitamin? I don't know. Anyway, I digress. First thing I want you to do, and I know I love, if you've ever listened to the Huberman podcast, he talks a lot about this, your circadian rhythm. Go outside and get your eyes in the sun as the sun is going up in the morning. Okay, so for the busy people in my life, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get up in the morning. I want you to take one of those essential oils. I want you to inhale it. I want you to maybe get on your knees or sit in a chair and just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this life. I don't want to waste it. I want to live in joy. And then get out the door. I want you to stretch. I want you to look at the sun as, you know, it's high in the sky and low in the sky. Sorry, not high in the sky, because then the rays are not going to damage your eyes. We're not, you know, hopefully you're getting up at a time when the sun is getting up. You know, for those of you who work shift work, this isn't for you. But if you're waking up, you know, anywhere between sunrise and early morning, go out. I don't care how cold it is, right? And I would even say if you can get your feet on the ground, your bare feet on the ground, it's just so good, just for a few minutes, and look toward the sun. Do your stretching, come back in, hydrate, get out your doTERRA recharge. This is a perfect way to start your day. Put that recharge into your body, hydrate all your cells, get your electrolytes in, get your body moving properly. And guess what? You're going to find yourself in a better mood. All right. And you're going to be focusing on gratitude. You're not going to be focusing on your bills. You're going to be focusing on the day. You're not going to be focusing on your troubles. You're going to be getting yourself aligned in the right direction. All right. And that's going to help. Excuse me. All that sunlight is going to help with the vitamin D, even if it's cloudy out. Okay. So don't worry about the cloud cover. Just get outside in real natural light. Here we go. One study examined vitamin D supplementation in subjects between 18 and 43 years old and found that those who took vitamin D reported higher positive emotions, such as being enthusiastic, excited, and determined. Love that word, determined. Determined to have a good day. How about that? Determined to have a good day. And one of the things that I learned actually from a Catholic bishop, he said, don't be part of the ego drama, be part of the theodrama. So what does that mean? It means that like when when your life revolves around you, it's boring. All right. I mean, after a while, seriously, my life, my needs, my line, wow, 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 wow. And I'm not minimizing your problems. I'm just saying step away from them and realize that you're only a tiny part of this big drama that's going on around you. So get away from the ego drama. It isn't really all about you, it's just about your part, right? You have a part to play. Like a big jigsaw puzzle in a beautiful world. It's a symphony, in fact, and all kinds of notes and instruments are being played. You don't have to take on all of it. You can just take on your part. And that will bring you so much peace and so much relief. Let other people do their parts. And I think sometimes as women and mothers, this can be super hard. It's like, wait a minute, don't I have to do all this? Am I not responsible for all this? Yeah, and no, no, you're not. You're not responsible for all of it. You're just responsible for your little part. So allow that weight to kind of leave your shoulders. Now, next thing we must have is probiotics. Probiotic means for life. Okay, this is where your doTERRA Restore is coming in, your PB Assist Plus. One's a stick, one's a pill. Take them together with your doTERRA fiber. Okay, so probiotics need fibers to eat. Just remember, that's what they eat. Okay, I remember I was in China once and I was walking through this beautiful bamboo forest, and I remember, and I'm going to bring over my little panda because I remember this beautiful older gentleman came up to me, and we were looking at the bamboo together and just like just admiring its grandeur and its sturdiness and its strength. And if anybody's had bamboo in their gardens, like it just overtakes everything. So be careful if you're a lover of bamboo. Don't necessarily plant it somewhere that's very fertile because you may not be able to control it. But he looked at me and he said to me, this is the part that you eat, and this is the part that the panda eats. And look, this is over 30 years ago that I remember this moment in my life. And it was beautiful because nature provides everything that we all need. And nature gives us every part for each individual in the way it's supposed to be. So just remember that you have your part, the animals have their part, and it all works together. And each plant is there for us, and all of nature is there for us. So you don't have to go to something artificial when it's already there. Why reinvent the wheel? We talk about that a lot in life. And so, probiotic, what is life? So, the thing about the bamboo that I love, and the thing about plants that I love, is they're full of fiber, right? They're full of fiber and it's needed by the probiotics. So, feed your probiotics first. If you've ever seen me do videos on probiotics, I tell you that everybody has a panda that lives with them. And this little guy needs to be fed, but he doesn't eat what you eat. He eats the fiber from the plant and you eat the rest. So make sure that you're feeding him those plants with the high fiber diet, because if you're not, he's not going to have anything to eat. And that's going to be bad for you because you and your panda are pals. All right. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So let me read a little bit from Daniel Amen's book. In a large part, the health of your gut depends on bugs, bacteria, yeast, and others. When the ratio of good bugs to bad bugs is about 85% good to 15% troublemakers, it creates a healthy gut. When the bad guys outnumber the good ones, the bad bugs cause trouble that can lead to intestinal and mental problems. Many everyday things can kill off good bugs and tip the balance in favor of bad guys such as sugar, high fructose corn syrup, gluten, insomnia, and toxins, low levels of vitamin D, and excessive alcohol. So, you know what? Go ahead and just remove those from your diet right now. So, if you do nothing other than these 4 things today, this is what I want you to incorporate. Make sure you get your VMZ. make sure that you're getting your Z omega. Make sure you're getting all your polyphenols by taking alpha CRS. These are the three parts of the lifelong vitality system, and they're super important. If you're someone who's really, really struggling and you need more vitamin D, then please go out and get in the sun as much as possible. At night, you can take the bone nutrient complex from doTERRA. That's going to give you even more vitamin D, and it's going to give it to you at night. So you're going to get it all day long, which is really, really beautiful. And then get your Restore out and your fiber together. Make sure you're taking those together because one eats the other. And then make some good food choices. So that would take care of things for like the beginner person who wants to improve their happiness scale. But if you're like me and you always want to kind of up level every day, let's dig deeper into other things that we can do that's going to make us just feel good. So let's talk about happy and sad foods. This is on chapter 5, which he also calls day 5. Remember, there's 30 days in the book. Okay, so one of the 7 secrets to happiness is to enjoy really happy foods and beverages that make you feel better while eliminating the foods or the beverages that make you feel worse. Makes sense? I think this makes sense. Happy foods are the ones that make you feel good in the moment, but also enhance your mood, energy, and physical well being. Okay, think about that. Did I eat something that helped my mood, my energy, and my physical well being? And is this going to be a long-term strategy, right? So like I will make a little confession. I am a lover of really good red wine. I admire winemakers. I think the whole process is beautiful, especially natural wines, organic wines. I'm not looking for wines that are, you know, changed with chemicals or manipulated. I just want a good old-fashioned red wine. That's one of my, favorite pleasures. But I have to say, like, there is this moment, right, where I start to feel tired or I start to lose my sense of sharpness, right? And I'm not drinking a lot. I'm drinking maybe one glass of wine over maybe an hour or two. But even that, I noticed that the alcohol has sort of a negative effect, right? So it's always a choice. It's always a choice. But being aware will help you make better choices. Okay. Being aware makes you feel better. So, color, eat lots of color. And I'm not talking about the dyes that they add into the candy, I'm talking about nature's actual colors. So, colorful fruits and vegetables are always going to be your go tos, right? It is the eye candy, right? Why are we drawn to strawberries and blueberries and bright green broccoli and cauliflower and eggplants and tomatoes and all of those things? Because of the color. The color is what draws our eye. The color is going to be the thing that's telling us this is going to be something that's good for you. Also, sustainably raised fish and meats. Now, it used to be that you just went fishing and you pulled it out of the lake, but now they have farm raised fish, which isn't really good for you. And that's not the way fish were supposed to be raised. So you got to be a little bit careful when you're buying fish. You have to be a good consumer. Also, your meats, like are you eating from happy cows and chickens and pork, or are these animals basically in factories and they're being abused? And that's going to not be healthy for you when you eat these foods either. It's so funny. Like, just think of that. Maybe we're all depressed because we're eating a bunch of animals that are sad and abused. I mean, that's not good energy, certainly, and that's not going to be healthy or helpful to us. You have to eat healthy oils. I have my top 3. You may have other ones, you let me know. Um, Avocado, for sure, olive, and coconut. So if I'm talking about an oil that's coming from a plant, it's always going to be those 3: avocado, olive, and coconut. After that, in terms of flavor, and I know I'm going to get some pushback on this, I like peanut oil and I like sesame oil. Now, a lot of people are negative about peanuts. I understand the arguments. I try to use it in limited amounts, but I'm a peanut girl. I'm sorry. I really, really enjoy peanuts. Um, And then butter. I'm a butter person. I've always been a butter person. I like butter. I think everything in moderation is really good, but I'd rather personally eat butter than, stay away from a lot of those, what they're called industrial oils, right? So all the oils you find in, your run-of-the-mill potato chips and packaged foods, those are made for really, really big production. So when production level goes high, quality goes down. So when you're eating foods, you have to ask yourself, like, how many of these were made? Was it millions, right? Like bags of potato chips or pretzels or crackers or cookies? How many did they have to produce to meet demand? And then the question is, if they're going to produce at that level to meet demand, are they using the finest ingredients? Are they spending time and really good energy on making that food? Or are they just like churning it out, cranking it out every day, cranking it out? The other thing that I think is so fascinating about industrial foods is that they always taste the same. How is that possible? Right? Well, that's what the consumer wants. The consumer wants to open up a bottle of ketchup or a bag of potato chips and have it always taste and feel the same. Well, food is not like that because it's a natural thing. So the only way that you can make something so consistent is to adulterate it with chemicals or to manipulate it with industrialized oils or to hyper salinate it by adding tons and tons of salts in it. There's only one way for something to taste, quote unquote, that good. And that's by adding lots of sugar or lots of salt or some kind of chemical changing element to it. So keep that in mind when you're eating your foods. Another trip that I made actually to China when I was on with another company when I was working. And I went to see someone who made like those dehydrated flavor packets for soups. And, I thought in my very naive mind that somehow they just made natural good soup and then they took the water out and then the powder that was left behind was the natural flavors of the chicken and the vegetables. And that's how you got these flavor packets for things like chicken stock or beef stock or whatever. And in fact, what they shared with me was that there was nothing natural in the packet whatsoever, that it was all man made, it was all chemical, and it was all of these chemicals that would trigger a memory in your brain of that taste. So it was a chemical that triggered your brain's memory of whatever it was. And what this gentleman told me with a lot of pride and excitement was that I can create a chemical that can trigger a memory of any taste in your head. And I was like, oh, I just want chicken soup. Give me a chicken, some carrots, an onion, maybe a stalk of celery, and let's make some chicken soup. All right. I don't need these flavor packets that are messing with my head. I don't think that's going to give you a life free of anxiety, depression, and stress. I think it's going to add to it. What do you think? Tell me what you think about all of this. All right. Organic foods. I had someone in the grocery store saying to me, oh, it doesn't matter if it's organic or it's not. And I guess my point is if it's all a big marketing ploy, then yeah, we've been duped. And, throw all the chemicals on the food because how could that not be just the same as a naturally grown fruit or vegetable? You have to ask yourself these questions. We have to take the time to ask ourselves these questions, and then we make our own decisions. Low glycemic foods. So you want your MetaPower Assist at the beginning of every meal because there's hidden sugars, I'm sorry, in almost everything we eat. And the first bite has to be something that doesn't spike your insulin, because if your insulin comes in too high and too fast, that's when it wreaks havoc on your body. It's like when you press down on the gas pedal of a car and then you slam on the brake, right? Never a good thing for the car or for you, the driver or the passenger. So, same thing when you're driving through the foods of life, you really want to get that just like slow increase in speed, which is your insulin. And you can do that with a vegetable, right? Something low glycemic, high fat, high protein, high fiber. Those are the things you want to look for. I personally choose fiber first. All right. Fiber first is my motto. It always will be. I think it's good for longevity. I think it's good for digestion. I think it's good for everything. So get out that refrigerated sauerkraut, get out a little bit of kefir. Um, Probiotic plus fiber, right? Get out your Restore and your doTERRA fiber. That's easy. It's already made for you. Just kind of swirl it up and drink it. Your doTERRA greens, like if you don't want to sit there, you're starving and you don't want to make a salad, get out your doTERRA greens and just have a half a glass. That's just going to set your insulin speed. We want to set our insulin speed at low, okay? Gear down on your insulin. And then the last thing, high fiber foods. So I just keep hitting this home, high fiber, high fiber, high fiber. And then things like nuts, seeds, legumes, all of that is really good. Your fruits that are super colorful and then mix them around. When you go to the grocery store, don't buy the same things over and over again. Eat seasonally, change it up, try different things. All your vegetables are really, really good. When was the last time you ate a turnip? Try one. How about some jicama or kale or okra or watercress? I love watercress. Anybody else a fan of watercress? Put it in the comment section. His favorite oils are avocado, coconut, macadamia, and olive. So he threw in macadamia oil. Very elegant. A little on the pricey side, but probably so worth it. And then throw in your proteins, eggs, poultry, fish, meat. And then brain healthy herbs and spices. All right. We're going to talk a little bit about those herbs and spices next week. Why herbs and spices, especially oils from herbs and spices, are really important for you. And guess what? We've reached the end of our day. I hope that you can take these tools and go and start to incorporate them into your day so that every day feels a little less sad, a little less anxiety ridden, and a little more peaceful and joyful. And if you need an extra tool, get out your adaptive and take these whenever you need it. The increased GABA is going to settle your brain in a great way. And if caffeine has overcome you, get out your Serenity and take one of these, and the L-theanine will cancel out that caffeine and help you feel calmer, even though you got to enjoy your morning Joe. I'm Carrie Donegan. Thanks for joining me on Radical Age Reversal. I'll see you next week.